Hello everyone. In this video, I'll share the cost of building my home theater. This look does not include any costs related to building the room itself, like the drywall, insulation, carpet, things like that, only the gear and equipment in the room. In addition, I thought it might be helpful to share where I might have been able to save a bit more if I had gone with more affordable options. And alternatively, if I was less budget conscious, what are some other options I would have been interested in? Now, I'm completely happy with my current setup. I have various upgrades that I would like to eventually make, but I'm in no way unhappy with my current setup. This is just a fun what if scenario. For amps, I could have gone all Outlaw with the 7000 at 7 channels and the 5000 at 5 channels to power all of my 11 speakers, and I would have saved over $1,000. And Outlaw makes fantastic amps. They're absolutely solid, so that could have been an opportunity for savings. If budget was less of a concern, I would have just gone all monolith. If nothing else, have all my amps match, but also the monolith can generate 200 watts per channel versus 130 watts for the Outlaw. I likely wouldn't need all the wattage all the time, especially for my overhead speakers. The Outlaw would be plenty, but I would prefer having the headroom, and that would cost me an extra $620. I got my Denon at the time at a pretty huge discount because I was actually sent the wrong item. Long story short, I was told to keep it, so I was pretty fortunate there. For new AVR capable of processing 11 channels, $900 is about as good as it gets, so no additional savings there. Alternatively, if budget was less of a concern, realistically for me, $4,000 is about what I would pay for a separate like the Anthem AVM 70 or Arkham AV40 or even the Marantz AV7706. They're all around $4,000, and that would be about a $3,100 added hit to my home theater funds. My Blu-ray player cost $427. Panasonic makes really good players, so a more affordable option is their UB420, which would have saved me $177. I was very close to getting the UB9000, but I did not. If I had, it would have cost me an additional $523. I've had a long journey with projectors in my home theater, more than any piece of equipment. My journey started with the BenQ HT3550. I've already mentioned in at least 3 previous videos, probably more on my channel, why I went with the BenQ instead of some of the other projectors I've tried out. And why the HT3550 is such a great budget projector. So check out some of those other videos if you're curious about my thoughts there. But what I will say here is that I think the HT3550 outperforms its price at the price I paid at the time, which was $1,500. And that's not to say that it does everything right. It doesn't. But as an affordable option that performs well at its price point, it's a projector that I would recommend. I have not yet seen in person any of the $10,000 plus projectors, but if I had the funds to play with, realistically for me, JVC NZ7 would be something I would consider. Even the Sony XW6000ES at $1,000 more would be a consideration, but that would be a gigantic leap in cost of $5,500 from where I am now. For projector screens, a silver ticket with the same specs would have saved me $151. I've never seen one in person, so I can't speak to its quality, only that it would have saved me a bit. The Stewart screen, I currently have a sample of the screen material. I gave my thoughts of it in a brief review in an earlier video. It's very smooth material, and I got no sparkle, which I'm kind of sensitive to. So it's something I would definitely be interested in putting in my room at some point, and that would cost me an additional $2,600. For subs, there really is no lower option because if I were to go a different direction on the lower end, it would be the Rail 1510. But the cost of the Rail 1510 and the SVS PB-4000, which I currently have, is roughly the same. So it really wouldn't be any savings. A sub like the SVS PB-16 Ultra is something I would splurge on. It would cost $1,000 more than what's in my current system. Or again, if I'm splurging multiple Rail 1510s around the room, there's really so many ways that I could go here if budget wasn't an issue. And that's really what's taking me so long right now to add a second sub to my current setup, is just trying to decide which sub to go with. My floor level speakers are all Klipsch and I absolutely love them, particularly the RP8000F. I get that these can be polarizing, but again, me personally, I love the sound. Considering what I paid at the time and how they perform, I don't think there's a lower price option for me. I'm very interested in the Arundel 1723 series. That would be my high end and an added cost of just under $9,000. I love these chairs. Not only are they comfortable, but their look sets the mood. It feels like a real theater in here. But I could have saved $3,500 if I had went with a simple sofa. I think I could find a sofa to fit this space and accommodate my family for about $700. My option on the high side is the XL Luxury Edition of the Tuscany line from Valencia. The same number of seats would cost me an additional $3,000. My AV rack is again an item that I don't think I would find a lower price option that would work for me. The monolith is sturdy, solid, and I love the open air design. An AV rack comparable to something like the Sanus would cost over $1,600, which would be $1,300 more than I invested to hold my AV equipment. My mount costs $65. There are mounts that are less that could hold my projector, but the one I have seems solid and has a hefty 70-pound weight limit. So that's as low as I would go. I like the Chief mount because it allows for easier adjustments. The one I have now gets the job done, but it is an absolute pain to adjust. An extra $527 should make adjustments easier. The next section here are costs where there really isn't much of an alternative on the high or low side. Total cost of cables and wires was $548. The price has come down quite a bit on this Rio Pro fiber cable. I found it online for under $100. And I also have some leftover speaker wire that I didn't use. So I did pay a little bit more for speaker wire. The acoustic panels are DIY. I priced out all of the material costs per panel, nails, wood, fabric, etc. And in the end, I estimate total cost for all of my panels in my home theater to be about $330. There are other options for streaming devices, but I'm fine with the Roku Ultra. My cooling system cost about $123. My power conditioner was about $375. My Harmony Elite Universal Remote was $250. I wouldn't have gone any other direction there. So that's about $1,727 in cost that'll be there regardless of whatever direction I went in. Bottom line, I spent $21,170. This is how my cost is spread across my room. 26% of my total home theater cost went to my projector. Seating is 20% of my total home theater cost. My 11 speakers are 14% of my total cost. Amps are 13%. My SVS PB-4000 is 9%. My cables, wires, acoustic panels, remote, all those things that would not change are 8% of my total home theater cost. My AVR is 4%. My screen, Blu-ray player, and AV rack are relatively small at 2%. And lastly, my mount is less than 1%. If I had gone with the more affordable options, I would have saved just under $8,900 and my total cost would have been $12,279. So that's big time savings. And that doesn't consider I could have also gone on the used market and got more savings in that way. And you can see in the summary table here, almost half would have been the projector. 40% of the total savings would have come from going with a sofa instead of the home theater seats. 12% would have been from the more affordable option with amps. The Blu-ray player and projector screen alternatives each amount to about 2% of the total savings opportunity, and there is no lower cost alternative for the remaining areas. If budget was not a concern, I would have spent over $48,000. That's an additional $27,000 over what I actually spent. 28% of that added cost would be from the Arundel speakers that I'm interested in. 20% for either a JVC NZ7 or a Sony XW6000 ES if I went in that direction. A different processor and seats are around 11% of that added cost. A Stewart projector screen makes up 10% of the added cost to my home theater if I went with that, 5% for a different rack, 4% for the sub, and 2% for the amp, projector mount, and Blu-ray player alternative. I'm very happy with the choices I've made in the current state of my home theater. I've been fortunate enough to build out my home theater in the way I want it, considering my budget constraints, of course, and I've been able to create a fantastic home theater experience for my family and for myself. Definitely not done, but I'm very happy. So hopefully this has been helpful or insightful in some way to those who are just beginning this process, those who are just flirting with the idea, or for those who are just interested in the direction I went in my room. As always, please leave your comments or questions down in the comment section below. And if you will, a like would be very much appreciated. Don't forget to subscribe if you haven't. And thank you. Have a good day.